On behalf of the staff and board of Blue Star Families, we are really excited to share with you the impact we've made and our plans for the future to continue to work to make military life awesome for the military and veteran connected community, for their sake and for the sake of our country. This meeting is important to us. We want to be transparent to our stakeholders in the spirit of best practices. We want to share the work we do firsthand with you, open it up to your understanding, regard, and scrutiny. We know that the need for our community is great. Perhaps the need facing our community reflects one of the greatest threats that exists right now in fielding and maintaining our force. And the demand for our work from the community is strong, so we have to be good at what we do. Here's our event roadmap. Over the next hour, we're going to tell some stories and specifics about the impact of BSF this past year. We're going to review our tremendous growth, thanks in much part to Mackenzie Scott, but to many of you also here today. We want to give you a front row seat to our future work, and we have 4 exciting announcements, so look for them. We do want to engage, so please use the chat function for questions, comments, reactions, suggestions. We will address questions and comments in real time, and if they take us a little more time, we will get back to you after the action. Our first of our 4 announcements here is one I think many of you are aware of, which is that Sheila Casey, our longstanding visionary board chair, has moved on, and we have a new board chair to welcome. Sheila Casey has been with this organization since its founding. When she began as an advisory board member, she was a board member for over 10 years. She took us from through about 20 times growth. I looked that up. So that's 1,900% growth from when she joined us. So that's a tall act to follow. And she will stay close to us in our hearts and as a friend. We could not be more delighted that we have found an excellent successor in Army Lieutenant General retired Gwen Bingham. Gwen, good to see you. I'm going to say a few things before I pass it off to you. After a 38-year prestigious career in the Army, she retired in 2019 as a 3-star general. She was a trailblazer, the first woman to hold many senior positions throughout the Army. She wore the uniform with unwavering compassion for military families, was a friend to Blue Star Families while she was in uniform, and immediately upon leaving, served at our board and in increasing leadership positions as the chair of our Campaign for Inclusion, then as vice chair of the board. And now we feel that Lieutenant General Bingham is the perfect leader to bring new energy and perspectives as we continue our trajectory of growth. So it's my privilege to introduce you all to my great friend, Lieutenant General Gwen Bingham. Gwen?
Thank you so much, Kathy, for your very kind introduction. I cannot begin to tell you how much we appreciate you, my friend. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's certainly my honor and my privilege to speak with all of you today. At the invitation of Kathy and Sheila, I did join the Blue Star Families Board in January of 2020. And having spent my last 3 years of active duty admiring the work of Blue Star Families, I knew then that this was the right organization for me to devote my time and my energy to. In my Army career, my husband and I lived the experience of raising 2 children, moving numerous times, and having to put down new roots every time, just like many other military families. How wonderful it would have been if Blue Star Families had existed back then. But they are here now and have been since 2009, and we are so grateful for them. Without doubt, Blue Star Families has its finger on the pulse of what our military families need, and I am excited to have expanded my commitment to Blue Star Families by serving as board chair. I'm profoundly grateful to my predecessor, Ms. Sheila Casey, and thank her for all she did to lead this extraordinary organization. We will miss Sheila on the board, but we know she will continually be a friend and staunch supporter of this organization, welcomed anytime. So what compels me is that there is simply no other organization doing what we are doing. Blue Star Families is unique. in connecting the military and civilian communities, all with the goal of increasing military families' sense of belonging and inclusion where they live, they work, and they play. With utmost humility, I can say that we are the only membership-based organization with the ability to integrate these two communities, and since 2009, has been doing so in creative and powerful ways. We are thought leaders, able to bring the public, private, and nonprofit sectors together to solve the challenges facing our military families. As our impact widens and we hear the response from our members, we have a deep responsibility to keep our pace of growth going. And so as you'll hear from other speakers, Blue Star Families is heeding that call, the call to innovate and to expand it into new and exciting ways. I'm so proud of what the staff and volunteers are accomplishing each and every day. And as most of you know, the past year has been a tough year financially for many, including nonprofits. We at Blue Star Families are profoundly grateful that we successfully weathered these storms and with the strong support of public and private partners, actually experienced a year of incredible growth. For an organization founded just 14 years ago, the footprint of Blue Star Families is remarkable, and our impact is not going unnoticed. It was just a few months ago when I was at an event, and a senior military leader came up to me and he made a point of telling me that Blue Star Families is the preeminent organization in the military and veteran serving organization space. I was so proud to hear these words. Certainly, we are humbled to have earned that respect. Dear friends, I am so proud to serve Blue Star Families, and I look forward to the new heights we will achieve in 2023 and beyond. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. I look forward to serving you as well in my new role as board chair. Kathy, thank you so much for all of what you do, and back to you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Bingham, for your kind words and leadership. We're so excited for the new phase of Blue Star Families. Bringing Gwen on board is just one of many ways. So the new phase of this organization is very ambitious, but before we look to the future, I'd like to play this short video for you to see the impact of your involvement with us this past year.
And also, my dad isn't going to be here for Christmas, and he's not going to be here for my birthday.
It's a lot to miss, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever get used to that, to him missing that?
Not really.
Over 100,000 military folks are deployed right now. Those families are separated. They may be new to the neighborhood. They don't know anyone. So this is a great time to provide comfort.
And Blue Star Families is able to make that happen because they're working with the best, the powerful, those able to make change and see change through because they have the research and because they have established the trust.
When we approached Blue Star Families and we understood what their goals were, that got us really, really excited.
Local business owner, it gives me something to look forward to every year, having that relationship with Blue Star Families.
Having data from the survey is invaluable, and I want to thank Blue Star Families for the incredible work you're doing.
Because there's so much that this organization does. So whereas Blue Star Families have opened local chapters across the country,
making sure our military families not only feel appreciated, but help them combat inflation and the soaring rent prices. Susie Malloy with Blue Star Families joining us this afternoon. What a great event.
My name is Ashley Gutermuth. I'm a stand-up comedian, military spouse, and I'm here to tell you all about Blue Star Families Welcome Week.
And Blue Star Families does a great job of providing real-life support for families that's badly needed.
I want to thank you for your partnership, for your friendship, for your support. Of course, we couldn't do any of this important work without all of you.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. So Blue Star Families, I think all of you know us well. We have crazy ambitions to literally change the system so that we can actually provide military families the support they need to serve our country and to still see their families thrive. Our current system doesn't make that easy. So we're stepping into the breach to make the difference. Some of that work we can do ourselves by stepping in and being the human support, the human connection absolutely necessary to make even the best designed policy or program work. Without trust, without human networks, those programs, those policies won't reach people. And we try to do that ourselves. We can, and we do, and we must tell this story, the story of military and veteran families, to our civilian neighbors, because they don't know the stories. We have to tell the story that our military is as deployed as ever, nearly 200,000. As you saw, time away from family remains the #1 challenge. We're in deployments around rising tensions in East Europe and Asia, but really throughout the globe. Our National Guard is twice as deployed, continues to be activated federally, but also locally for emergencies and climate threats that are year-round. The military service is a team sport, and the whole family serves. That is still something that most Americans don't know. We need to support the whole family if we want to feel the military. That our families live in local communities and not on bases, and that the out-of-pocket costs for them in those communities are skyrocketing. Inflation, food prices, housing costs are undoing them as government-ordered moves, unavailable childcare, and the pace of military life requirements undermines the ability of spouses to work to meet the need, leading to housing and food insecurity. We've been fighting to be the organization we need to be. We're going to keep fighting to do that. We've been fighting to grow our chapter model so that it's effective. We measure it. We see the success. We see where we can improve, and we're going to see more of that this next year. We are fighting to create a seamless path for virtual connection and support paired to in real life interaction, because our young service members and their families, that's what they want. We have to be demand driven. We're also working to be a thought leader and convener, because by ourselves, we can't make a dent. We need to help shape the whole field. We're data driven and evidence-based, and we push others to be that way. We're human centered. We bring that public and private and nonprofit space together. We work to be a finger on the pulse of our community, to be responsive and proactive. That's our commitment to our community, and that's the only way we're going to get to where we need to be. So I'd like to share a slide with you as we head into next year, our 15th anniversary, with 14 years of consistent growth. This is what we do right now. We serve over 1.5 million individuals from military and veteran families and in civilian communities. We provide value back to the nation. We provide value to our members and economic development to communities by getting spouses into careers where they really where they can contribute economically to the local community. As the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joan Dunford, and a very close associate is Ellen Dunford, who's with us today, said as a meeting with our key partners, the future viability of the force is dependent on how we take care of our families, and we must put families first. That's what we do. We have had extraordinary growth since the beginning. 2012, it was 10,000. I think when we started 2009, it was 1,000. So you can see we're going to be hitting 250,000 families within our membership this year. That's important because it shows that our demand is real. This allows me to remind people to talk about our second announcement, and which is to remind people of Mackenzie Scott's fantastic $10 million grant that has led to, we have Blue Star Families enjoyed consistent growth over the years, but as you can see in 2022, this grant really took us to the next level. Unlike for-profits, and I used to work in the for-profit sector, we can't take investments to fuel our growth. We can't take loans. We have to pay as you go. But this unrestricted funding allowed us to make the investments to follow the strategic plan we already had, but to ramp it up that much faster, to execute our strategy and vision in an expedited fashion. We're excited to share how we've leveraged this opportunity. We're looking to innovate. So first of all, people first innovation. We have hired 6 new senior leaders, chief transformation officer to take us from where we are now to where we need to be, some fantastic vice presidents to join our in-house talent. That includes an executive vice president of social impact. We're very proud as a nonprofit to fill that position. Chapter impact to grow our chapters, which is key. Promoting our VP of Finance and Technology, because that digital base is so important to our young members, and on and on. Let's see. In 2022, we worked across many impact areas, 5 of which you'll learn more about today. Our annual survey, our digital transformation, our campaign for inclusion, our brand partnerships, and our new and exciting support circles program. We believe that we are uniquely positioned to solve critical future problems because of the integration of the military family community and because of the pulse that we have when unexpected challenges arise. And we know that those challenges will arise. We have the technology, we have the reach, the trust, the membership to affect the grassroots to the grass tops, and we're committed to being there for our community. So I'd like to introduce a little bit of our next segment. On March 29th, just a few days ago, we released the results of this latest annual military family lifestyle survey. That's the oldest and most comprehensive survey and the largest of its kind. Let's take a moment to watch this short introduction to the survey and its critical results, and then I'll bring on Brianna Keeler.
The Army and the other military services this year are facing what they're describing as the most challenging recruiting environment.
It's being called a crisis. Military recruiting is struggling.
It is a national security issue.
None of these capabilities matter much without our people and their families.
People are the best drivers of recruitment for the military. It becomes critical to look at the currently serving families and understand not only whether or not they would recommend military service, but why or why not.
We rely on research and data derived from surveys like the Military Family Lifestyle Survey.
The annual survey provides an important pulse check for me and other senior military leaders.
What started as a desire to provide local support turned into the first of its kind effort to understand and advocate for the needs of the entire military and veteran community. From that moment on, we've become the trusted source. We are in a unique position as the only member-based organization integrating both the family and the military communities. We address everything from mental health to food insecurity and even right down to measuring their sense of belonging.
We're creating a network of trust, support circles, and outreach programs based on the data we collect to help families through anything that comes their way.
And we're going to keep doing this work. As long as there are men and women in military service, there will be families beside them needing someone to fight for them too.
Super. It's now my pleasure to turn this over to one of our phenomenal friends, the amazing CNN anchor, Brianna Keeler, board member of Blue Star Families. Brianna, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Brianna Keeler, a journalist and a proud military spouse, and I am honored to be a part of this Blue Star Families event, one of many that I've been honored to participate in. As a military spouse, I understand the unique challenges and sacrifices that military families face. I've experienced firsthand the joys and the struggles of navigating deployments and the impact of military life on our families. As a journalist and Blue Star Families board member, I have had the opportunity to report on many of their survey reports, including the annual Military Family Lifestyle Survey. And I've seen firsthand how Blue Star Families research has shaped policies influenced lawmakers, and made a positive impact on the lives of military families. I'm deeply grateful to Blue Star Families for their incredible leadership in the military and veteran-connected research realm. Until Blue Star Families came along, nobody was conducting surveys like our Military Family Lifestyle Survey for our military and veteran families. When it launched, the annual Military Family Lifestyle Survey was the largest and the most comprehensive study of its kind. And guess what? It still is. While we are glad to see our research open the doors for others to launch their own surveys, it is still our research with oversight from a major university that makes a direct change in the lives of military families all across the world, including my own. In its 13th year now, the 2022 survey was our largest with over 9,300 respondents. And there were many insightful findings, but the biggest red flag for military leadership is that we have found that families are not recommending service to the next generation of their children and other family members. This alarming finding tells us that the recruitment crisis is only going to be exacerbated because we know that most new recruits to the all-volunteer force have historically come from military families. You can easily see the problem. If the quality of life for military families is poor, that has a direct impact on recruitment, which in turn has a direct impact on our military readiness and ultimately our nation's security. But we know that our research isn't just highlighting important problems, it's solving them too. BAH, also known as Basic Allowance for Housing, a monthly allowance designed to offset the cost of housing for service members, is currently at 95%, with the intent that service members living on the economy will cover the remaining 5%. The survey indicates that the majority of military and veteran family respondents are paying above this allowance for housing expenses. Equipped with the 2021 survey findings, a bipartisan group of nearly 60 lawmakers cited our findings and called upon the Secretary of Defense to use his authority to restore basic allowance for housing to 100% of the calculated rate. This kind of impact is the prime example of why Blue Star Families is so important to the military family community, my community, your community. Their research is making an actual change in the lives of military families across the world. The survey's spotlight on other issues such as spouse employment and food insecurity enables both Blue Star Families and external partners to quickly adapt and acutely target the current and crucial needs of military and veteran families. Today, Blue Star Families chapter directors are working with local installations in our Nourish the Service initiative to provide critical support to families. And our military spouse employment initiatives meet a spouse wherever they are on their career path, while providing corporate partners with the unique skills that military and veteran spouses possess to strengthen the work environment. But it's not just the military community that benefits. Communities thrive when everyone engages. So when we work to welcome military and veteran families, their neighbors see a positive change too. Everyone wins. Our commitment to growth and impact each year through the survey is a testament to our dedication to serving the military community. By continuously expanding our reach, our capabilities, and our impact, Blue Star Families is better positioned to support and empower military and veteran families across the world and help shape a brighter future for them. We are thankful to our long-term partners like the Daniello Institute for Military and Veteran Families. We couldn't be making as big of an impact without them and continue to grow exponentially because of support like theirs. I am honored to be a part of Blue Star Families' efforts to support and empower military and veteran-connected families, and I will continue to advocate for their needs through these transformational findings. And I hope you will join me. Kathy, thank you for this opportunity to share some of my thoughts about the annual Military Family Lifestyle Survey. Back to you.
Thank you, Brianna, and thank you to USAA, who has been the presenting sponsor for that survey for over 6 years. We're grateful for the impact, the advocacy, and the commitment of them and all of our partners. Supporting Blue Star Families' campaign for inclusion, the annual Military Family Lifestyle Survey asks specific questions to our military families of color. We're going to be releasing those results next month. Our commitment to DEI is deep and being noticed. The Secretary of the Navy, speaking at an event recently, said that the information BSF provides to the campaign for inclusion is critical to the Navy and the DoD understanding and solving the problem. We've heard that from the Air Force as well, and we're honored to be able to partner with them and with the local communities. Inclusion is a national security issue, and tackling it is one of the more challenging situations that communities face. And we want to be there with them, helping with real solutions on the ground. Blue Star Families has risen to the challenge, meeting the needs when no one else had the capacity and really the trust to continue to do the crucial work to close the gap, to continually build more trust in the communities where our service members and veterans live and serve, to address the recruiting and retention crisis, especially among military families of color. Our friend and Campaign for Inclusion committee member, Fernando Snowden Lawrence, is here to share additional updates. Fernando, thank you for joining us.
Kathy, thank you so much. It is a real privilege to be here and to speak with all of you. As Kathy mentioned, my name is Fernando Snowden Lawrence. I am a vice president and regional director in corporate responsibility and global philanthropy at JP Morgan Chase. And I have the secondary privilege of being the representative of the firm in exploring this work and tying the collaboration between the firm and Blue Star Families as tightly as possible because of the phenomenal work that's being done at this organization. And when I say that, you've heard a lot about it already, but I'm going to share a few other elements of why, both as a service veteran, outside of my work with JP Morgan, I also served in the United States Marine Corps proudly for nearly 10 years. And so I have a personal connection to this work, but I also have a professional responsibility to my organization that is deeply committed to veterans broadly, with many organizations, with a team internally to support promotion and retention, recruitment, to find those organizations that are doing innovative work, something that is not the norm. And so I'm going to run through a couple of things quickly here and then share a little bit about what I think the core belief is for us in tying this together and wanting to stay tied to Blue Star Families and to the phenomenal work being done and my privilege on being on the CFI committee. So a couple of elements that are really important, particularly now, as has been mentioned previously, is that Blue Star Families recognizes and understands the responsibility not just to tout or champion a diverse military, but to support how to make that a reality. And the recruitment and retention, which has already been talked about, are getting better and will be better when people see a military that sees and understands their experiences, that understands where they're coming from and where their community is in the United States. The theory of change is to listen, to share, partner, and act. And that's the foundation that grounds all of the Campaign for Inclusion work, is to really be listening to families, to the service members and to their family members about what they're experiencing, to listen to those individuals who may consider joining and enlisting or going to a service academy, understand what their reservations might be. In 2020, Blue Star Families conducted a survey and focus groups with thousands of military families of color to get to the heart of their experiences in the military and their local communities. In 2021 and 2022, we shared those results. The report, The Diverse Experience of Military and Veteran Families of Color, was briefed to over 2,000 individuals, including U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, senior DoD officials, and military base commanders. You can imagine, many of you who are aware, how important it is for base commanders and those who are in charge of communities, right, overseeing communities, to be able to download this information and understand where their service members are coming from and what they're experiencing. So in 2023, there's so much more to do, that so many more partnerships that will be flourishing. Blue Star Families will be releasing their new report on building bridges to belonging. That's actually happening on May 2nd. And we're looking to the future by pinpointing regional, on-the-ground solutions that make a difference in people's lives. And that's something I think is really important, to have that connection to community through those kind of regional organizations that are working within Blue Star Families and with Blue Star Families. Also hosting a closed-door session on May 3rd to brainstorm real solutions to the insights revealed in this research. So I mentioned that on May 2nd, there was an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what the results are. And then on May 3rd, there'll be a brainstorming session on the insights of this research. In addition, the research and policy work of the Campaign for Inclusion, Blue Star Families is also about to graduate its second cohort of Deploy Fellows this summer. And I can tell you from having interacted with multiple individuals who participated in the fellowship and becoming friends with a couple of them, that this is really a great example. If you're not familiar with it, have not been to an event or had this Deploy Fellowship explained to you in detail of what the innovation looks like in practice when you have a method, an actual outcome, a process, allowing access to military spouses, and in this case, particularly military spouses of color, to networking, training, and internship opportunities at corporations like ours and others, so they can meet people and not just learn for themselves and build their own skills and their own resume, but also be ambassadors for the community and help share with those individuals who are not military connected what that is like, what that means, and what that feels like. And I think that that's actually a very critical component of this work as well. The Deploy Fellowship is building a pipeline for the next generation of leaders in the MSO and VSO space. And its mission is to increase the representation of marginalized military family identities in this space, right? I think for many people, the idea of what a military family looks like and who the military spouse that is looking for opportunities and is a leader and is building and is advocating in their community doesn't always look like someone who maybe comes from my community or your community. And I think part of the opportunity here is to change that perception. JP Morgan Chase has sponsored the Deploy Fellowship, and it has been a privilege. I'm so proud to be a part of this and to have the organization I work for be a part of this endeavor since its inception, and its mission, which will continue to support these military spouses and military families. As a call to action to all of you today, I mentioned how incredible I think the Deploy Fellowship is, and I would implore those of you who want to learn a little bit more, because I think it's so fantastic, who may not know, please reach out to any one of us, but certainly team members at BSF to learn more. If your organization is looking to hire amazing talent, partner with us, JP Morgan Chase, or Blue Star Families, or both, in this work, please reach out. There are 9 amazing fellows who are soon to be looking for full-time employment this summer, and we want to use the network here to place as many of them as possible in learning opportunities, growth opportunities, and quite frankly, situations where their skills are going to prove to be the difference maker, which is what I have seen firsthand with our Deploy Fellows at JP Morgan Chase. And I know that many members of the Military and Veterans Affairs team, corporate responsibility team would back me up on that. And in order to be succinct, because we only have so much time, I also want to share a little bit about what I think the core elements here are, and then I will sign out with all of you. The core elements here are not just the research and data, which is critical, a critical component, and the Blue Star Family's commitment to understanding the value of what that data will reveal is critical. But then pulling that together with being rooted in community to have qualitative experiences with people in a city, in a county, in a town who are military connected and understand what they're dealing with, what their needs are, support them in organizing for each other and advocating for each other, whether it be in policy or in kind of a real-time need, if you will, in the community, and then blending those two things, right? Rooted in community, bringing data to work for those community groups is what is so special about what Blue Star Families is doing, and what the CFI has been able to take advantage of and promote. And for me, as a service veteran and the son of a service veteran, and someone who believes that despite all that we still need to accomplish in our uniformed services and in our nation, that it is still a privilege and something that we should be proud of. And because we as a community, almost everyone on this call also believes that, this is critical. The questions that need to be answered to make sure that people can still see their way clear to why it means so much to wear the uniform and support those who do, this work means everything. And with that, because I'm not sure how long I've been going on, I'm going to just say that The work continues. We ask everyone on this call, most of you are already committed, but if you have not had a chance to even give 5 minutes, please look into considering how you might. And organizations, feel free to reach out to me if you are in a for-profit space to learn more about how we have partnered with BSF. And right now, before I completely go off the rails with my passion here, we're going to turn to checking out a short video that shows the incredible impact of the work of CT Moss and the team behind the CFI and the impact that it's having. So I just want to thank everyone for your time listening to me, and let's watch this video, and please do reach out with questions.
I think it's hard for others to understand exactly what these families have gone through because it is different and it is hard.
I'm a big believer in data. Data points the way. It helps you understand what you really have. It's very persuasive to people when they see it. And the fact people are turning down assignments because they don't want to live in a location because of the climate that their families will have to live in is a really important thing.
Blue Star Families understands our responsibility and is taking steps to ensure that we are delivering our vision that all military families feel a sense of belonging and continue to build stronger community connections.
For the last, 10, 12 years, they have been the definitive voice.
And Blue Star Families is leading the way in identifying meaningful work at the cross-section of equity and our military and veteran families.
Through the 5 pillars of focus, we bring together public, private, and nonprofit thought leaders to keep our finger on the pulse.
Campaign for Inclusion is building an opportunity for communities of color, queer communities, disabled communities, all of our communities to come together as one and welcome each other and create that sense of belonging that we all need within the military community.
This fellowship presented itself. It was a light bulb for me. It was in line with what I want to see for my own family, and it was an opportunity for me to implement and be a part of a change that I really wanted to see for a long time within my military community.
That's what this is about. This is about making us stronger as a country, stronger as a military, understanding each other better, communicating with each other better.
We hadn't taken a hard look at families, and you gave us a chance to do that. So we're going to take this, we're going to work with it, we're going to keep going. We're going to understand from this, and we're going to act to try to make our lives better.
Thank you for taking this journey with us as we renew our commitment to this important work.
Thank you so much for that, Fernanda. We appreciate all you do and the work of all of our Campaign for Inclusion Leadership Committee members. Continued programming growth requires groundbreaking digital transformation to speed and facilitate meaningful connections in our military community. Trust and digital don't always go together, and top-level digital capacity does not often go with nonprofits. Often it's only top-level for-profits that can make that possible. But there is a pioneering organization, Patrick McGovern Foundation, that is dedicated to just that mission of making the work for good be as just high quality technologically as the for-profit world can be. And that is a beautiful thing. I am delighted to introduce Vilas Starr, who has become a good friend. He is the president of the Patrick J. McGovern Foundation. He's up next to provide insight about this work and to share our third announcement about our innovation efforts. Vilas?
Thanks so much, Kathy, and thanks to you, to Gwen, to the entire Blue Star Families team for all that you do. I have the privilege of running an organization that focuses on digital transformation, but I usually start from where I grew up, a pretty small town in rural Illinois. And I remember going home after school and knowing without doubt that every day there'd be kids outside playing, that people would be coming over for food. And no matter how tough times were when a new family moved into the neighborhood, we were throwing an epic block party. That was a world before computers and phones and email and all of this other stuff. But even now, as I think about all these new technologies, data science and AI, what I still hold on to is that sense of basic belonging and inclusion and trust that came from neighborhoods. And I am really excited to share some news today. Blue Star Families has been reimagining how the American public engages with and supports military families in so many ways. But as you build the foundation to do that, I'm particularly excited for this new initiative, a seamless, smart, mobile, integrated experience for military families to meaningfully engage with each other, with their communities, with the American public at large. From a perspective of leading a large foundation, this work is critical for building better social fabric for all of us. And I'm really happy to announce that we at the Patrick McGovern Foundation have offered $1 million in sustaining support to Blue Star Families to build a transformative new initiative. This will change how we engage with each other. And I'm really excited to invite us all to watch a small video clip that talks a little bit about the initiative before I come back to share a few more thoughts.
Envision a world where every military and veteran family feels welcome and thrives, connecting to a vibrant network of support and communities where they live and serve. Announcing the latest Blue Star Families initiative, The Neighborhood. We're making this vision a reality by providing our members meaningful, safe, and trustworthy ways to digitally connect with each other and access what's happening locally. Thanks to the support of the McGovern Foundation, this innovative, one-of-a-kind community will link members with everything from careers to suicide prevention support circles. And as our dedicated team of professionals continues to craft the space, we're testing bold features and gathering new relationships to expand its development. Neighborhood features include products and highlights from our trusted brand partners, a library of military and veteran service organization resources, local events, and continuous conversations in a community that cares about making military life awesome. Your support can help make this even greater. Join us in building and growing the neighborhood for all military and veteran families.
This sense of building tools and technologies that help us be more human, that let us connect to each other and find belonging and inclusion is expressed so much in the idea of the Blue Star Families neighborhoods. Blue Star Families is committed to reaching every military connected family, no matter where they live, around the world, here in the US. And we can do this with technology and computers, but maybe more importantly, with human intention. The neighborhood will be a digital space. We'll connect members to each other. And it's our goal to have programs and partner resources, but it's going to be more than this. It'll function as a space that'll create new bonds of trust, new forms of empathy and connectedness with each other. And maybe most importantly, it'll be the gold standard for how grassroots engagement and social impact research translate into real impacts on people and families. We want to know that the things we're building create sustainable long-term outcomes for mental health, for well-being, for stronger communities. And I'm just happy to say we are so honored to partner with what I think of as the nation's most innovative and leading military connected family organization. We're excited to learn from each of you, from the organization, and from this experience as we think about how we build more trust with technology and put more tools in the hands of people across this community, across this nation. Thank you so much, and Kathy, back to you.
Thank you so much. Vilas, we are so thrilled about what you have made possible for us to do and really excited for the networks of advisors that through your support we've been able to engage. We are looking for more really innovative thinkers to help us think through our opportunities with the neighborhood. So if any of you here on this call have recommendations for us for really groundbreaking or impactful work, we'd love to hear about it. Now turning to Michael Kabari, our longstanding relationship with Starbucks is a great example of how our partners fit into our theory of change. We believe we can't do anything we can't do anything by ourselves that we can't do better with partners. That includes nonprofit partners and corporate partners and government partners, community partners alike. Strategic brand partners like Starbucks, whose neighborhood-based mission aligns with ours, provides Blue Star families with a platform to showcase exactly what strong community means. Our longstanding relationship with Starbucks is a great example of a perfect partnership. We strengthen military communities by connecting them to neighbors and creating circles of support. And Starbucks helps us meet that vision by offering a place for military families to connect, to find support, and build enduring relationships wherever the mission takes them. We don't need to build physical plant. We have a place that people like to be. Together, one invitation, one cup of coffee, Blue Star families and Starbucks are helping military families find community and connection in the places they live and serve. It's my great pleasure to introduce you to Michael Kobari, Chief Sustainability Officer, Starbucks.
Hi, I'm Michael Kobari, Chief Sustainability Officer and Vice President of Social Impact at Starbucks. It's a great honor for me to be invited to speak with you today. My only regret is that I cannot be there in person. Today is a special day for Blue Star families, and I'm proud to share that Starbucks has been working with Blue Star families for over 7 years in a strong and valued partnership. And if you'll permit me, I'd like to share why this partnership is so important to Starbucks and to me personally. Starbucks, as you know, is much more than a cup of coffee. One of our early leaders said it best. Starbucks is not a coffee company serving people. We're a people company serving coffee. And as a people company, we're working to create warmth and connection in every single community we serve. Our new CEO, Lakshman, says it well. With every cup, with every conversation, with every community, we nurture the limitless possibilities of human connection. I think all of you know very well that for some of our military families who are living all around the world or away from the home where they grew up, that connection and community can be hard to achieve. You know, I think about my own father, George Kobari, who served in the U.S. Army during the 1950s. He was stationed in the Pacific Northwest at Fort Lewis, which we now call Joint Base Lewis McChord, where he was deployed before he went to Germany as part of the occupation forces after World War II. Dad was lonely during those years, as he used to tell me, far from the farm that he grew up on in Watsonville, California. How he would have loved to have been welcomed into a community like Blue Star Families is doing. Starbucks has understood and appreciated the power of community, especially for our service members, veterans, and their families. That's why for more than 10 years, Starbucks has dedicated ourselves to serving those who serve and their families before, during, and after service. Blue Star Families has been a key partner of ours for a long time. It was founded to strengthen and empower military and veteran families to thrive as they serve. In 2022 alone, Blue Star Families and Starbucks worked together to host more than 367 events and engagement opportunities in Starbucks locations across the country. That's more than one a day. And we served 204 communities across the U.S. In addition, Starbucks supports Military Spouse Appreciation Day, as we will do again on May 12th this year, supporting Blue Star families in their campaign to nominate a military spouse to receive a $10 Starbucks gift card. Now that may seem like a small act, but those small acts that say, "We see you," go a long way. Another favorite event of mine is the Yellow Ribbon Tree Program. This is where, at hundreds of Starbucks stores across the country, they put up a Christmas tree and they invite Starbucks partners and customers to write a note of gratitude on a Blue Star ornament and hang it with a yellow ribbon. Those trees not only tell our military families that they're welcome in that Starbucks, they're part of the Starbucks community, and they make them feel part of our family. and that welcome extends to the walls of over 100 military family stores across the U.S., where Starbucks ensures military families have a place to connect wherever the mission takes them. We also know that veterans and military families make Starbucks better and communities stronger. That's why, since 2013, 10 years, over 40,000 veterans and military spouses have worn the Starbucks green apron and bin Starbucks partners. And that's why we're committed to hiring 5,000 military veterans and spouses every year. I want to close by offering a call to action. If helping military families find community and connection is important to you, I want to invite you to reach out to the partnership team at Blue Star Families to explore ways that your organization and your team can help welcome military families to every community across this great land. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And now I am very excited that with us live is Matt Miller, the Executive Director for an incredibly important program in the government, the VA Suicide Prevention Program for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Thank you for our fourth and final announcement, which allows Blue Star Families to use its insights and research and on-the-ground trust experience on the forefront of a crucial issue of mental health and wellness. Matt, thank you for being with us.
Thanks so much, Kathy, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today from the National Academy of Sciences building here in Washington, D.C. VA Suicide Prevention is hosting a two-day workshop conference on ways to maximize mental health access for veterans and for service members. We're talking about the methods, the modalities for increasing access. We know that central to method, modality is partnerships. And we are so grateful for the partnership that we have with Blue Star Families. And we're putting our money where our mouth is, if you will, through the Staff Sergeant Parker Gordon Fox Suicide Prevention Grant. This is a grant named in honor of Parker Gordon Fox, Army troop and veteran. He was a sniper instructor at Fort Benning, Georgia. He was known prevalently and prominently for kindness and generosity. He died by suicide in 2020 at the age of 25. From that situation and tragedy has come this grant. And I'm so happy to say that Blue Star Families in our first year of the grant was awarded the highest amount possible, $750,000 for any individual grantee. Why? That's pretty straightforward. Blue Star Families reflects our values within suicide prevention. Namely, Blue Star Families knows, as we do, that suicide is preventable. It's not inevitable. Also, Blue Star Families knows and lives what we believe in, that everyone has a role to play. I think a really good example of that is Blue Star Families Support Circles program. This is a program peer-based that is matching and maximizing, just as I said at the outset, partnerships and networks for veterans and for service members, connecting the dots in important ways. And we know that it's that connecting of the dots that saves lives. I look forward to watching the continued growth and development of this program and supporting Blue Star Families broadly along the way. So thanks for your partnership. Thanks for everything that you do. We could not do it without you. We've seen a 10% reduction in veteran suicide over the last 2 years of data. And I really think that the community partnerships are central and absolutely necessary to that. So thanks, Blue Star, and thanks for this opportunity to pop in here and offer encouragement as well as the broader announcement about you and the Fox Suicide Prevention Grant. Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. And I want to say how much it inspires and gratifies us that the VA is expanding their mission and has moved away from the 19th century vision of the single service member battling this alone to a more expansive mission that includes the service members and their diversity and also their families. That's incredibly meaningful. At Blue Star Families, we always like to say that no one's born a veteran and no one's born alone. We know that if we're really going to solve the suicide problem, we have to start early and we have to include the families. We have to make them part of the solution because they're the early warning system. They're the early intervention system. And we're so grateful to be included in this work this year because we care so deeply about this. We're deeply grateful for the Fox Grant and to the VA and to you, Matt Miller. So before I close, I want to point out how much innovation is important to us and how all of you who are on this call have been part of that innovation journey with us. I want to shout out just one more project that's in its earlier stages, but on an unprecedented way, 3 frenemy organizations, normally corporations, USAA, PenFed, and Navy Federal Credit Union have banded together to look at the challenges of spouse employment. Since Blue Star Families identified spouse employment as a major issue in our 2010 survey, a lot of attention has been put on the issue, but the needle has not moved because there has not been a lot of innovation in the field. But these 3 organizations came together really at their initiative and enlisted us to join them, as we are very honored to do, to look at innovative ways to getting to not only root causes, but really root solutions. And we're in the middle of a long-term study. Not many organizations are willing to do the hard work, particularly corporations, to look at long-term solutions. And so we're grateful for that work as well. So thanks to our speakers, thanks to all of you, our stakeholders. We do this because transparency matters. We want your thoughts and engagements. We want to hear how we can make this better next year. 3 key takeaways from our perspective: recruiting and retention is key to the safety and security of our nation. Supporting military families is the indispensable piece of addressing recruiting and retention issues. That means the challenges our members tell us that are impacting their ability to continue serving. Food insecurity, housing, childcare, spousal employment, but above all, the broken networks that prevent them from being able to solve their own problems. Welcome and belonging is not only what we do for all military families, but particularly digging into the DE&I work. Blue Star Families has a unique and a vital role with Blue Star Families. Creating connections and building community among military and veteran families and their neighbors through both the chapters and digital transformation is something we have to keep getting better and better at if we're going to make a difference. Physical spaces and digital spaces have to mesh. Mental health and wellness requires it. We're working upstream to support families to prevent suicide. Really, everything we do is on that stream. If you put questions in the chat and if there's not something we've answered, we will follow up with you. Please continue to work with us, remain our thought partners, our battle buddies in this work. Please reach out to us. We really mean it. We're a grassroots initiative. We believe at our core that all of you make us better. Thank you again. Your partnership is valuable and helps us in our mission of supporting military families in ways that strengthen communities for all. Thanks so much for your time today.